Welcome back to Carbon Racing Series Season 4. We're here at round 10 at the Italian Grand Prix. It's the Temple of Speed, the Autodromo Nazionale Monza, or however it's called. It's one of my favorite circuits in the Formula 1 race calendar, but on this game it's kind of got ruined a bit because they added a curb at Sector 1 that really unsettles the car. Unfortunate. But still, a 3.6 mile circuit. There's 11 turns here, including the famous Ascari chicane and the main straight down into turn 1. We're doing the sprint race format today. 18-minute short qualifying format, a 5-lap sprint race, which sets the grid for the 50% main race. So things might be a little bit different. I wouldn't expect to see any hards or mediums in the sprint race. I would expect only softs. The red striped soft tyres, the fastest tyre available. And let's just take a brief look at the standings. Currently, it's Kane leading the championship from only 2 points from his veteran teammate Ivan Hafterkamp. Lennart catching up, but in fact both of the Alfa Romeos of Lennart and Faco catching up slowly, well, gradually. One of them could still take the championship, but in the constructors, it's still very much Red Bull leading the way, though perhaps not quite by as much of a healthy margin as before. Still, a fair way to go before anyone can overtake. Now then, this will prove to be a little bit difficult. Yeah, have we got anything? There we go. Loading now into short qualifying. Might be a bit late again. Short qualifying as, unfortunately... Oh, there we go. That's a bit loud. Caught me off guard a bit. We only have 16 drivers, but it doesn't matter. No one's getting knocked out. I need to bring up the track map and all that. Lap data. And tyres, I would expect everyone is going around on soft tyres. Indeed. So currently, it looks like it's Pookie who's currently leading the way. No, halfway down the second straight. In fact, entering the Parabolica now. In fact, it's Crazy Steve who is the first car to start a flying lap here. Heading down the main straight into turn 1, the Retafilo chicane. And there's that horrible sausage curb on the inside. Really unsettled Steve there. Goes a little wide. Going through... Oh, I can't remember what this part of the track is called. This is annoying. This is my favourite track and I can't remember the name of the turns. And this chicane, also can't remember the name. I remember these two corners, though. These are the Lesmos. Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2 just up there. And going through Lesmo 2 right now, where I think it was John Watson who had a crash back in 1980, where it proved that the carbon fibre chassis was the way forward in Formula 1. Going into Ascari now, named after the two-time Formula 1 world champion of the 1950s, the first multiple champion I think Formula 1 had. Down the main street, we've got a car stopped in Sector 1. That looks like Formula Cringe in the McLaren. Not certain what's gone on there. As Steve has performed a very nice clean lap here. He's going to go across the line into 121 and immediately gets beaten by Rob and Pookie to the 120.1. Coming down the road now is CRS Kane and his teammate Ivan pulls into the pits. Kane does a 119.917. Next will be Ben Dixon, who's 7/10 down. What's that? I need fastest lap, not the intervals. And someone's already gone through the escape road already. We've got a Ferrari going across the line in a moment. That's Dan Edwin, the only Ferrari on the field. And he manages 4th place. Hanges in the Haas. going across the line to start his flying lap. And then there's Formula Cringe, who have no idea what happened in Sector 1. Multiple seconds down and coming straight into the pits. It's me, Dion, the reserve driver in the Alpine today, heading towards the start-finish line to finish his lap, and currently slowest driver so far. Hangis and Lennart will be the next driver to set a flying lap time, probably, unless someone went for another run. Going through Ascari now, the car looking rather low quality for some reason. Even though I'm pretty sure I've got... Oh, what's going on? Hello, controller. Stop that. Yeah, the controller is not healthy, I don't think. And goes second fastest. You know, that's something I actually forgot to do. Guess what? I need to turn on performance mode. Performance mode on the streaming software. There we go. That should prevent the stream from lagging at any point. And then Han just goes across the line, and he's miles off the pace, so 2 seconds away from Dion in the Alpine. He's going around the Parabolica again. He's actually gone faster this attempt, so he's gone for another flying lap. He's run out of battery just now, and he does improve, but it's not enough to move higher up the field. So 4.5 tenths was at least enough to get him a bit more on the pace. Still a good... that's 5 tenths, half a second off of Rob. Ivan on a flying lap, not flying lap, an out lap. After Cringe also on an out lap. I really do not like this camera. It's not very good, so we'll use the onboard camera instead. Standard onboard. Looks a lot better. Making way for Hangis in the Haas. Hangis has improved in Sector 2, but not by a great deal. Obviously struggling with the circuit. Going through the Parabolica now. I think it's been named Alboreto Curve or something. It will always be Parabolica to me, as Hangis does improve by half a second, but still quite a way off the pace. Ivan has set a purple Sector 1. I don't know if that's a oh, gets up into a tank slapper, manages to keep it on the road. Formula Cringe has retired. There's a car stopped at the Rettifilo. And I believe that's Cringe. Not certain what's gone on there. Has he just lost it? I have no idea what's happened. It doesn't look like it's got damage. But I would not be surprised if it's that horrible sausage curb on the inside of Turn 1 that has ruined his day here. Ivan got a brief slipstream from Kane. I think that's what the Red Bulls were doing earlier, when we saw Ivan pulling into the pits. Heading across the line now, and he goes fastest by more than almost a tenth than his teammate. Okay, just had to make sure the microphone was working. That I hadn't forgotten to. Bad time to check, but for some reason it just hit my mind for a moment. Like, I need to make sure I haven't forgotten this rather crucial thing to do. Crazy Steve, I think that's Pookie goes across the line to start a lap in the Mercedes. Crazy Steve is up ahead at the second chicane. Oh, and locks up, I think. That didn't sound very healthy going into turn 1, but nicely does it as opposed through the chicane. Yeah, the engine just stopped And I think, did he maybe invalidate his previous lap? Because he's already lost about more than at least half of his battery. Definitely locking up a bit and trying to avoid the horrible curb on the inside of turn 3. Or no, turn 4 even. Oh, and invalidates at the exit of Lesmo 1. And would have invalidated at Lesmo 2 as well. So, yeah. Not been a great attempt from Pookie there. As Dan Edwin now improves to P3. About a 10th off of Kane. Got Faco on an outlap as well. Going, perhaps waiting to give Leonard a slipstream. And also letting some cars past, including Ryan Kennedy, who's gone 4/10 faster despite the slight interruption of a slow-moving Alfa Romeo on the racing line. Going down the back straight now. If it has a name, I don't remember it for some reason. And no, it's car number 21. I thought they were trying to cosplay Nico Hulkenberg for a second. Nico Hulkenberg, or however it's pronounced. Does go 4/10 faster. Did improve slightly in the third sector, but not enough to move him up the field. Baker had started his lap now. Ahead of his teammate, actually, so he's not going to give him Leonard a slipstream. Oh, was he locking up as well? It does sound like there's been a lot of lockups. Also avoids the curb on the outside of turn 2. So maybe the curb harms traction? I wouldn't be surprised. Into the second chicane, avoids the curbs. Something that I can't do because I've been using them for so long. It's muscle memory. And they ruined my favorite track by just putting these stupid curbs. God, I gotta relearn this entire track. It's rubbish. I hate it. Why can't they just leave it alone? Going into Ascari. Nicely done. Can be one of the more tricky sections, especially for me. Luke GDI goes, just a few, I think there's 7 thousandths faster than Ivan did. Faco hugging the inside wall, only manages P9, so that's the benefit of the slipstream, I guess. But how did Luke really get a slipstream? I don't think so. He's done that on pure pace. Ivan and Kane have needed a slipstream, and Jaden has actually popped up into P3 as well. It's done that out of nowhere. I wasn't watching that. We've also had another retirement. Dion in the Alpine. The second Alpine, the reserve driver, has pulled out. And here comes Affery finally coming out for a run. No idea why he's left it so long. And driving rather oddly. Doing a lot of burnouts and nearly losing the car on the straights. Meanwhile, who else is going for a lap? Hanges has just crossed the line. I believe that's to... He did improve, but he's still slowest. So that's... He has improved, but he's needing to use all of his tyres in order to do so. Faco has invalidated. Ben Dixon is on an in-lap by the looks of things, given the blinking red lights in the rear of his car. Would not be surprised if he pulls into the pits. And yes, he's coming into the pits. Rob, I think, is on a time lap. Going into the Parabolica now. Currently 11th fastest. And once again, hugging the inside of the track. Goes 0.3 faster, but not enough to move any higher up. Avery will be starting his time. Yes, his first flying lap now. I can't speak English today. Crazy Steve also starting another flying lap, as will be Pookie in just a few moments. Car number 25. We've got Jaden on an outlap in the Alpine, and that looks like Hanges has just had a bit of a whoopsie, but no harm done. Rob is 9/10 down, so he's not going to improve even if he is pushing. Got Dan Edwin, almost said Leonard. And he could be a bit of a mobile chicane for Affery. Giving him a bit of a slipstream. Oh, get out of the way! That's the racing line! And he's really messed that up. That wasn't a very nice thing to do. Because now Affery's going to have to go for another flying lap attempt. When you could have just pulled over to the left side of the track. I mean, that's how you're supposed to do it. You've got to let them pass, to not hold on to the racing line for the entire time. Crazy Steve, meanwhile, has improved a little bit, but it will not go above 12th place. And Pookie has also improved by 2/10, might go up potentially 2 positions, as Dan Edwin and Leonard set lap times that are very close together. Oh, has had a rubbish Sector 3. 5/10 down, does not improve. He's going to have to go again. Kane and Ivan also on outlap, so Ivan will be starting what may be his final flying lap attempt. Got both of the Alfa Romeos out as well. It's Leonard who's leading them. And coming out of the Ascari chicane right now is Faco. You can see him in the background there. Affery has had to go for that second flying lap attempt. This time there is no mobile chicane in the form of Dan Edwin, but he's just not got a lot of battery to play with. 32%. He may run out just before the line. Got a yellow flag in Sector 2. There's something going on there. Might be cars just slowing down to try and get out of the way. I think Steve was making way for Pookie, not certain. As Affery comes across the line, manages to go 12th fastest. Dan Edwin, 2.3 seconds down, but that was probably a cool-down lap of some description. Pookie has invalidated, so he's got to go again. Crazy Steve will also need to go again, but there's not a lot of time left in the session, I don't think. Jaden also on his outlap, about to begin what will certainly be his final flying lap. Yes, there's only 30 seconds left. Not a lot of time left to start your flying laps here. And it could be quite close for Faco. He's got 20 seconds to get across the line. He might have to start the sprint in 9th place. There's not a lot of time left. He is flying. He's got to go as fast as he can. Ivan has retired. He's pulled into the pits. And Faco will not make it. What? Apparently Faco was on one flying lap. I thought he was on an outlap. It said he was on an outlap. So somehow Faco and Leonard have gone first and second, even though it said he was on an outlap. I'm absolutely certain of that. So I've no idea where that's come from. Who's going to be next? It will be Pookie. He's had a clean lap this time. Currently it's Faco on provisional pole for the sprint. But can Pookie do something? He does improve. He goes 1.5 tenths faster, up to P7. Ryan Kennedy has invalidated. Ben Dixon hasn't, though. The AlphaTauri coming through Parabolica onto the main start, finish straight. Across the line, improves to P8. Just 35 thousandths ahead of Dan Edwin. Jaden didn't manage to improve. Luke GDI has not improved. Kane has got a bit of company behind him, and that was an odd move. Something happened to him, so he's not been able to improve. And both of the Alfa Romeos will be coming into the pits. So there we go. It's Faco who will lead the way from the sprint race, followed closely by his teammate, Leonard. Even though I'm absolutely certain that he had just 10 seconds to get across the line to start his flying lap. Yeah. I guess F1 game is gonna be F1 game. Ooh, don't hit the... There. So, Faco, Leonard, Luke GDI puts the Williams on the second row. Ivan can only manage fourth. Jaden and Kane, and then the game decides, oh no, you've got plenty of time left, but no, let's just move on. Okay. I just needed to know. It's not like we needed to know the red or anything for the sprint race, but whatever. So we move into the 5-lap sprint race, which will decide the grid for the main 50% race. And expect out-and-out pushing. Expect to see a few moves that you probably wouldn't expect to see. Oh, who knows? It's Monza. Overtaking here could be quite difficult. Whoa! What the? We're getting that. We've never had that before. 5 lights. It's lights out, and away we go. Yes, but oh, and there's contact already. Luke GDI has pushed Faco into 5th place already. That's come out of nowhere, and now suddenly it's Luke GDI who's leading the way in the Williams. And suddenly Pookie is up into 3rd, whilst Ivan still in 4th place. What a time to have been able to capitalise on the misfortune of his peers, and he's still somehow stayed in 4th. Oh, and the contact, that's a Sebastian Vettel moment for Ben Dixon, who loses control, possibly through a bit of contact with the rear of Ivan's Red Bull. What a crazy start to the sprint we've got here. Now Rob is up into 5th place. He's got Kane for company, though. Let's take a brief look at some of these position changes. Luke up 2 positions. Pookie up 4. Rob is up 6 positions, but he's got a bit wide. He could be picking up some track limits warnings, and Kane is not going to hold on to 6th. He wants more, and he's going up the inside of Rob immediately. Rob, though, trying to brake later. He's got the outside, a bit more speed, and he's going to be able to hold on. I think so. And indeed, Rob will maintain 5th for now, but Kane, using his battery, he's desperate to get past. He's got Dan Edwin for company as well, who's up 2 positions himself. Rob is definitely fighting back with Kane. He wants this position as well. This could be his highest position. He holds on to 5th place. And Kane, at risk of losing 6th to Dan Edwin. This is where all the action is at the minute. But Leonard is catching up to Luke GDI at the front. And Ivan also catching up to Pookie. Kane has lost a bit of time to Rob, and Faco gets a 2-second penalty for collision with Ryan Kennedy, and Hedges has gone off the track. Affery's had to pit, I think. We'll get DRS at the next lap 3 of 5, going through Ascari, and Leonard is less than a second behind Luke GDI in the Williams. Ivan is within striking distance of Pookie. Kane is within striking distance of Rob. But we won't get to DRS until Sector 2, the brief downhill straight towards the Ascari chicane. But Leonard is using the energy. He's got to take a look at the inside. He's going to have the inside for turn 1. This is very close, but Luke is going to hold on. Oh, he gets a bit of oversteer. And that's Leonard. He's going to take the lead of the race through turn 3. And down towards the second chicane. Luke GTI fighting back, but Leonard defends expertly. Ivan, take a look at Pookie, but he's had to hold off for now. And Rob still holding on to P5. Going through Lesmo 1 and 2. Well, that was Lesmo 2. Pookie got a little bit squirrely on the exit of 2. Going down towards Ascari once again. This, with the assistance of the DRS, this will put Luke in prime position to get back P1 from Leonard. But he won't be able to get that opportunity until the main straight just after the finish line. Ivan looked like he was kind of trying to take a look. Rob, though, is once again being passed by Kane, who's going to have the DRS. It's Kane who gets the DRS, but Dan Edwin gets it too. And Kane has run out of energy, and Dan Edwin gets the two of them. What an unexpected turn of events. The Kane is going to fight back. Oh, and he gets pushed onto the curb there. And now Kane has lost the position to Rob again. And this time he's down in 7th. Luke GDI, meanwhile, did not manage to overtake Leonard. And Ivan did not manage to overtake Pookie. So it's not worked out for these two yet. But there's still at least one more lap that they can realistically have a chance. And at the moment, Rob still gets the DRS from Dan Edwin. So Kane won't be able to overtake just yet. But he's still holding on to what is 6th now. But it was a long position. Oh, that's Pookie. He's gone wide. Was that intentional? I've no idea, but that's now put Ivan in a horrible position because that means Pookie gets the DRS. And now Pookie, he's a ways back, but the DRS is very powerful here. And Ivan taking a very strange line. Will Pookie be able to overtake? Well, there's an overtake for the lead. Leonard under assault from Luke. He tries to force him wide. He's holding on to P1 for now. But he's going to have to go around the outside of turn 3. It's neck and neck. Leonard is behind. He's got to try and make another move if he wants to get into P1 again. But at the minute, it's Luke GDI who stands to reason that he could take victory in the sprint race. We've still got one more DRS straight that Leonard could overtake down, but it's not as easy to overtake down this one. And Leonard doesn't have a lot of energy to play with. He's very close to the diffuser of that Williams. And he's got to try and get past, but he just doesn't have the energy. Luke also doesn't have a lot of energy either, but it's not going to be enough. Leonard cannot overtake. He's fought valiantly, but it's Luke GDI. He started P3. Luke will take victory in the sprint race unless things go wrong. No, Luke does take victory. And Ivan will start in the second row. Pookie just behind. And it's been absolute disaster for Ben Dixon, who had a very good start. And Faco, who is now in P11 after he started on pole. Formula Cringe, though, has an amazing race. He's up 7 positions into the top 10. He was dead last, I think. And now he's P9. I hope the race proper is nowhere near as nerve-wracking as that one was. As Dion comes around to finish the race. Last driver still on the lead lap. Han just had a horrible race. Finished down in last overall. As we saw, he was missing his front wing. So, ignore that podium celebration. It's just a sprint race. I don't know if we get points awarded during this. Luke GDI will start the race proper in P1. Leonard alongside in P2. It's where he started this race. Ivan in P3. It's one better than he started. Pookie manages to get up to 4th. Dan Edwin up from 9th. Rob from 11th to 6th. Kane loses a position and Jaden loses 3. Cringe up 7 positions. Steve up 3. And of course there was Faco who lost that mountain of positions after a horrific lap 1. Also not being a good race for Afari. Had to make a pit stop. I think he was the only driver to make a pit stop. No, Dion and Hanges also made pit stops. But for Hanges, it didn't go quite to plan as he lost his front wing at some point. And so we go briefly back into the lobby to set up the race proper and actually have some points doled out. Right, now. So, got to wait a little while as Leonard sets up the race. Though I believe we may get some people making FIA reports for incidents that happened during the sprint race that has been allowed. Let me just take a look at the... Okay, well, what happened with Ben Dixon is his tyres locked up. He locked up and he simply hit Ivan and didn't have the ability to stop, really. So it wasn't Ivan's fault. It was simply Ben Dixon outbraking himself, I think. Oh, and Hanges has had a game crash, so that's fun. Ah, right. And let me just take a brief look at... we have 9 viewers. One of those might be Hyper. One of those is probably Pookie. Whoever else is here, welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're having fun. And don't go away just yet, because the race proper has yet to start. Of course, we've got to wait for Hanges to rejoin, owing to his game crashing. So we'll probably have to wait a little while. Sandwiched by McLarens. Well, you didn't lose out, but at least one of the McLarens did. After he started in P12, finished practically dead last, except for Hanges. Not a good race for Afari. or Affer-5, Affer-3, Affer-3, Affer. How the hell are you supposed to pronounce a 5? I mean, obviously 5, but when the 5 is in a word, how are you meant to pronounce that? There's no words that have numbers in. Like, I know there's 8, but you can say mate, date, 8, late, mate. I've already already said. Oh God, I wish I could remember the words. I knew what I was gonna say, and then it vanished again. Repeating myself. That's it. I repeated myself. Ugh. Yeah. You can't exactly pronounce a 5. If you want to write in the English language but talk in Arabic, you use numbers to replicate letter sounds. Ew. So the 5 is meant to be an Arabic letter? I mean, it already is an Arabic numeral, so to speak, but is there no actual letters that you say like the Arabic letters? Well, I don't know. Is K-H. So, Afakri? Jafar Cree. Jafar Cree. Cookies if you understand the reference. Yeah, I guess you don't have a problem with me saying Afari for most of the time, because if it's a letter that you say doesn't have a proper sound in English, I mean, how am I supposed to pronounce it otherwise? Anyway, we move into the race proper. Loading. We should have all 16 drivers still here, including myself, of course, but I'm not a driver. I tried driving with these guys before. Didn't work out so well. I'm not as good as I'd like to be. It's kind of the story of my life. Jack of all trades, master of none. I have a lot of various interests, but rarely am I actually the best or very good at one of them. Right, we should have a formation lap. Indeed, we do. Bring up telemetry and lap data. And so it's Luke who leads from pole position, sort of. They changed it for 2022, so pole position is awarded to whoever goes fastest in normal qualifying, whereas sort of sprint race pole is not really pole, so sprint race is not really something I like anyway. Just leave it out of here. It was not exactly a resounding success in 2021, and it probably isn't going to be a resounding success in 2022 either. So, Luke leading on this formation lap. He's ahead of Lennart. Ivan, who's doing a better job of backing up the pack than Lennart and Luke are. Then comes Pookie and Dan Edwin. Then it's Rob. Then it's Kane looking to get back his positions. Then, oh, that's... Who is that? Who's gone up? I think this is Formula Cringe. He's gone a bit higher than he's meant to, I think. Then it's Crazy Steve. Then there's Faco. Then Ryan Kennedy. Then Ben Dixon. Then Afari. Or whatever it is. We'll just say Afari. Oh, and Ryan Cringe? What? Ryan Kennedy has overdone it a bit. Went into the wall. But I don't think damage will be on in the formation lap. And it's Hangis right at the back. Lots of different tyre strategies already. As Pookie, Faco, Ben Dixon, Afari, Dion and Hangis are starting on the medium tyres. Everyone else is on the softs. So, lights are coming on. It's 5 lights on, lights out, and away we go. And Luke has had a terrible start already, and that's Lennart already leading the way. It's kind of like what Daniel Ricciardo did at the real life 2021 Grand Prix. Luke is locking up. Oh, and there's collision behind, and Ivan has bashed. Oh, what a terrible start for Luke. And already, that's controversy. No, I would need proper cameras, please. Thank you. So Ivan ended up almost certainly, mistakenly pushing Luke out of the way, and Faco's had a mistake as well. So Faco has had an even worse lap 1 in the proper race than he did in the sprint race. And already Lennart is more than a second and a half ahead of Ivan. Dan Edwin has already picked up a 5-second penalty. I think that's because he's had to avoid an accident, and he's just breezed past Ivan. What? No, was it Ivan or was it Kane? I think it was Kane. What's going on here? I'm very confused already. So, we've got more position changes. That's Rob, who's already lost a few positions. He's down in 9th. Lennart sets the fastest lap of the race, of course, and Rob falling more positions. He's going into the pits. I believe Rob might have damage. So he's making a pit stop. Dan Edwin is caught up a little bit, but as it stands at the moment, he will not be finishing in P2, as he's got 5 seconds worth of penalties. Rob is having a new front wing fitted, so it's gone all topsy-turvy for Rob. Pookie has also lost a couple of positions. Kane has got up into 3rd, probably because Ivan might have some damage. I'm really not certain how things have panned out this way, because it's gone really strange. And Ivan is losing some pace to Kane, so I do think he has some damage. He's losing it through the corners. And Kane, right behind Dan Edwin, onto the second straight. He's right behind. We will get DRS activated for lap 3, but we won't see it until just after Lesmo 2. And Dan Edwin going rather wide, goes a bit off the track. That's probably going to be a warning. Leonard sets the fastest lap. Kane now sets the fastest lap, about 2/10 faster, I think. Not that much faster anyway. Not an appreciable difference. Kane in the slipstream of the Ferrari. And that's Pookie in the slipstream of the Red Bull. Now let's take a look at that Red Bull who's gone a bit wide. He had a bit of a slide. This isn't initial G, my friend. This is Formula 1. And he's having to use up a lot of his battery to try and stay ahead of Pookie. And for now that's worked. But Pookie has a lot more battery now because of that. Jaden, though, has used up a lot of his energy. He could be under attack from Ryan Kennedy. We have more position changes. Dion has passed Affery for P13, P12 even. And there's been another incident. Is that Rob? I think Rob might have had a spin up lap at turn 1. Though he's moving again, and he's obviously way off the pace. And Kane has got past Dan Edwin. Overtakes into the Ascari are not impossible, but it's not where I would have overtaken, because now you've got the main straight DRS to contend with, and Dan Edwin's gonna have it. So Dan Edwin is using his energy to try and keep up with Kane. He's gonna have the DRS. Look at the overspeed he has. He's gonna breeze past the Red Bull. Figuratively red car overtaken by the actually red car. It's a... yeah. This is the real... car! Oh, the real car. The red car that is really king around here. That's Jaden losing a position to Pookie on the exit of turn 1. And could it be that the soft tyres are starting to fade a little bit? I'm not certain. Let's look at position changes. It's down the field. So Leonard has up 1 position. Dan Edwin up 3. Kane up 4. Pookie has got back into 4th place. Jaden up 3. Ivan down 3. I'm absolutely certain he has damage. He just has lost so much pace, and he's probably wondering where that pace is. He's almost certainly looking at his damage indicator, seeing it's green, and wondering, why am I going so slowly? So and he's gone wide as well, so he just doesn't have the front downforce. That's from his collision that he had with Luke GDI, who, head to his credit, got up and back up into 8th place, but he's still down 7 positions. And Jaden now trying to make a move on Pookie, and Kane has got past Dan Edwin again, and this time I think it's for keeps. And the Alpine gets past the Mercedes relatively easily. Now Ivan still just behind Pookie, but I can't see any damage. But there must be some sort of damage, otherwise he wouldn't have lost these positions so easily. He is still in the fight though, but his tyres probably going to feel second hand eventually, and look how much time he's losing through the chicane. He has to have some form of damage. This car is just looking so unhappy. He does get the DRS though, so that's going to protect him from Ryan Kennedy behind. But I think he started in P3 and now he's fighting for the lower half of the top 10. It's just not gone his way, and look how Ryan is catching up through Ascari. He has to change his front wing at the very least. There is something wrong with that Red Bull. He's being potentially going to be overtaken. No, that's Ryan going side by side with Luke GDI as Kane now sets the fastest lap of the race. But he's still miles behind Leonard. DRS still down the field. Ben Dixon is just ahead of Formula Cringe. And Ryan Kennedy's making a dive bomb and Ivan after camp. What a move from the Aston Martin. And that's 2 positions in the space of a single chicane for Ivan. He's lost P6 and he's down to P8. It's all gone horribly wrong for Ivan. And he's just going to keep tumbling down the field. Unless his car is not built for straight line speed. Maybe he thought it was going to rain. But this car just doesn't look happy here at all. Dan Edwin still trying to fight back on Kane. He's within DRS range, but he's not gonna have the opportunity to overtake a Ascari. But maybe. Oh, and Kane's gone wide. So Kane has thrown away 0.3 of a second. And Dan Edwin, no. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. Oh, there's a massive crash behind. That's Pookie. Whoa! Virtual safety car. That's going to protect Kane. It might give Ivan a free pit stop. What a disaster for Pookie. I think he just went over the inside curb here just a bit too much, and he's lost it. Lap 6. And Ivan is pitting, taking the opportunity for not quite a free pit stop, but a better than free pit stop. And Ivan is getting his front wing changed, so that he must think that there's damage. Kane also pit, Dan Edwin pit, and of course because he had to serve his 5-second penalty, he's way down from where he was. Ben Dixon now finds himself in the lead as Leonard pit too. So Ben Dixon, 6.2 seconds ahead of Faco, who's 1.1 ahead of Afri, who's 3.8 ahead of Dion. But this is still under virtual safety car conditions. Oh, and Ben Dixon picks up a drive-through penalty for going too fast. So that effectively puts Faco in the lead. He won't be able to keep this lead, though, as he is still going to have to take a pit stop, and he's now under threat from Afri, who finds himself in quite the position. I don't think he imagined he'd ever be running in the highs of P3, but he's not having a grand time through Ascari. Leonard on his fresh tyres is breezing past Dion in the Alpine, who I think may have built his car slightly wrong. Also has tyres that are quite old, 8 laps old, whereas Leonard's are fresh, brand new. But now Leonard is not quite so safe from Kane as he was before. Well, I say that. Kane is losing a bit of pace, I think. Or time, anyway. Jaden has the DRS, and I think he's just gone past Hangis like it was like he was in a completely different class of car. Hangis about to lose position to Dan Edwin now. Hangis, I don't think he's built his car correctly, as he's very much down on straight line speed. Yeah, unfortunate for you, Pookie. It was going so well. What happened there, mate? I don't know what happened. All I saw was a car going sideways in the background and tumbling. Kane, within 0.3 of Dion. I think he's going to want to hold back and try and get the DRS off of Dion, who is so much slower than Leonard that, well, Leonard's already made up the deficits that he lost to Kane. But Kane is going to get the DRS and try and close up a bit, using his energy as well to catch up. Goes past Dion like it's a formality. Who else is racing? Currently Ivan outside of the points. I don't imagine it will stay that way. And with his brand new wing, he should be able to make a bit of progress now. Was that rear wheel locking? That was strange. It looked like Luke's rear wheel was locking a bit. Of course, if it was, he'd be going sideways. Luke just outside of a second of Crazy Steve, but is he gaining? I'm not certain. Ivan definitely able to keep up. Luke will be desperate to try and get inside of that second. He is very close, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it. He won't get the DRS. We've had another car go round. Afri has done this same thing. And we have a full safety car this time, and that's going to be absolutely monumental news for Faco. Affery has thrown his race away, trying to get past Faco, and Ben Dixon serves well, he's not going to serve a drive-through. He can't serve it. He's pulling into the pits. He's going to have a change of tyres. Well, okay, Leonard back into the lead. But Faco will not lose so much time, I don't think. He may get ahead of Ivan here. Indeed, I think he will. He's going past the pit exit now, and there is Faco. No. Okay, Faco is right behind Ivan, but he does have new tyres. So the field will be bunched up. Rob will be given the opportunity to catch back up. Ivan back up into the points at least. Let's take a look at the tyres. Fresh softs for Ben Dixon, Faco and Hangis, but will they last 17 laps? I don't think so. Whilst everyone else is on fairly new mediums. So, had a very good exit, but lost it. Had a moment in the exit for Ascari and Sprint as well. Missed 2 races, had an embarrassing Dutch Grand Prix, going to the wrong tyre, accidentally losing easy P2. Went to the wrong tyre. Because you went on hards, I think. I don't remember. But yeah, it's just unfortunate, man. It was going well. And obviously the same thing happened to Affery. At least we know now it wasn't contact. So, position changes. Jaden up 5 positions, as is Kane. So Jaden doing rather well for himself. I think his tyres are... Yep, pretty much the same age as everyone else's, mostly. Ben Dixon up 8 positions, but he's going to have to serve that drive-through penalty because he was going too fast under the virtual safety car. Crazy Steve up 4 positions. Meanwhile, it's not been a good race for Luke, GDI, or Ivan. They've lost 6 and 5 positions respectively. And it's been a horrendous race for Rob, who started in the lofty heights of P6? 7? Yeah, 6, wasn't it? And now he's last of the remaining runners. So it's not gone well for Mr. Rob, who's going through turn 3 now, and everyone else is on the second DRS zone. So Kane should be able to keep up with Leonard, though it depends how much downforce these guys have. Kane might have more than Leonard, which isn't really the way you want to go. You want to try and have as little downforce as you possibly can. And we're going to get at least another lap of safety car running here. So the race should get underway on lap 13. As Rob is just catching up. Who is Black Sheep? Codemasters, I can't believe you still haven't fixed this. How can strangers get into private lobbies? That's not right. Oh, and Crazy Steve has had an incident too. What's happened?
What?
So Crazy Steve, both of the Mercedes are out. Crazy Steve has had a crash somehow. I think because he lost connection or something, and his AI lost control. So that's unfortunate for Steve. It's gone really wrong for Mercedes, and they're gonna just not gonna get any points today. Disaster for the German outfit. But if this was real life, and that was Hamilton and Bottas, or Russell, you can rest assured that I would be laughing my arse off. So will the safety car end? I mean, Steve's car, Steve's car has disappeared. Safety car in this lap. It's up to Leonard to bunch up the field, hold them back. And will Kane, well, how will Kane do this? Will he be caught out, or will he have lightning reactions and somehow overtake Leonard down the straight? Well, he's... Oh. Yes, it's going to be close. Do I want the Red Bull to win? Do I want the Alfa Romeo to win? Well, there's a safety car line. That's when Leonard can go. But he's not going just yet. Oh, well, he's going now, and Kane has gone off the track a little bit. That's going to be a warning, almost certainly. There's a car coming in. That's Ben Dixon going to serve his drive-through. And Kane may have been caught out a little bit. Possibly, as I think Rob has just gone past Hedges now that he's in a better position. And we've got a yellow flag already. That's Dion, who's had an incident. So Dion went off the track at turn 1, and Kane very close to Leonard's backside here. Oh, it's going to be a tough one, this, to call. I'm not certain. Leonard did pull away a little bit, which says to me that Kane probably has less downforce than Leonard does, which could be crucial through these slower turns, but also crucial down the straights. He's going to make up that time. He's also got that slipstream, and also, dirty air through the corners. And I think that's Luke GDI who's gone past Faco. Ivan still in 7th place. Oh, someone went wide there. And of course, energy usage. And the top 2, they're starting to pull away a bit. But we won't get to DRS until lap 15. Oh, I thought Leonard was going round there. And Kane, still in the slipstream. Getting closer. Will he be able to make the move? Is he going to make a dive bomb? I don't think so. Rob picks up a 5-second penalty for... He must have picked up some damage, and he retires anyway, so... Rob has had a race to forget. Got another yellow flag. That's because of Rob's car coming out onto the pit straight, whatever. Kane still holding on to Leonard. He's not going to let this one go. Oh, he goes a bit wide, though. Didn't want that to happen. Leonard did the same, but not as badly as Kane did. But Kane would appear to have the straight line speed to be able to make up that lost time. As we recall, last lap he was with the same sort of distance behind, and now he's much closer. Faco, meanwhile, has got back past Luke GDI, and now he's making inroads on Dan Edwin. But everyone's still mostly inside of a second. Thought I saw a car going around the final turn for a second there. Kane catching up. Dan Edwin trying to make a move on Jaden. He doesn't quite have the time. It does seem that he has a slightly faster car than Jaden, but everyone has the slipstream here. DRS now enabled on lap 15. Energy usage by Dan Edwin quite high. Jaden too. Faco is right alongside the Ferrari, and he's going around the out. There we go. And he sort of muscles his way past the Ferrari, who is unsettled. Oh, there's a car going wide. That's Luke GDI. And now Faco is up into 4th, but he is on the soft tyres. I'm not certain how long those will last. But as we had so many laps under safety car, they will still be feeling quite good, I think. Kane will get his first taste of DRS out of Lesmo too, and he's much closer to Leonard than he was before, but he's going to hold off, I reckon. He'll have the DRS into the Ascaria chicane, but it smartly, intelligently holds off. Bit too much, maybe. He's lost a fair amount of time as he has to back off a fair amount. Faco now right behind Jaden, and because there is no... Oh, and that's collision! Oh, that was a bit adventurous. I've no idea who was at fault for that one, but Dan Edwin is caught pulling into the pits as well, so disaster for Faco, who made contact with Jaden, and we've got a virtual safety car all of a sudden. Not certain why there was no crash, but it could be that there was no retirement, but probably Faco has damage, debris on the field, did go around in a circle, so... Oh yeah, there we go. Virtual safety car because of debris on the racetrack. And now Faco, dead last, but on very fresh soft tyres, but almost certainly out of contention. So I was going to say that that Kane was, without the help of Ivan, was going to be at risk from Faco. But now Faco is in last, so now he doesn't have to really worry. He can continue to make an assault on Leonard, who now doesn't have any defense except for his own driving abilities. He had a better exit out of the Ascari chicane, but it's not helped in this occasion. We've got DRS once again, and Kane will be able to slowly reel Leonard in. He's using a fair amount of his energy. Is he going to try and make the move on this lap? I think maybe he is. He's going for it. He's got the DRS. He's muscles his way past the Alfa Romeo. He's side by side. We almost have a Hamilton Verstappen moment. And there we go. Kane does get past the Alfa Romeo, but Leonard was quite wisely holding off on his energy deployment, and he's waiting for his own counter-attack, probably later this lap. Jaden has half of his energy left. Ivan within striking distance of Luke, but we've got a DRS train here, unfortunately. So it's going to be difficult for Ivan to be able to make any real progress. And then there's Ryan Kennedy, who's fairly close to Dan Edwin, who is now in P8. But Ryan has a penalty, so Faco, with his new tyres, is making some inroads. And Kane has actually managed to get past Leonard again, but he's done it too early. And now Leonard is going to use all of his energy, I think. Oh, he's going wide, though, so that's going to be a warning, potentially. And Leonard, actually, he's just relying on the DRS. And Kane probably just going to let him sail past. Indeed. Oh, and look how close this is. Luke, currently in third place. He's fighting with Jaden. This is still all to play for. Ivan just behind as Dan Edwin sets the fastest lap of the race on fresh soft tyres. Who's going to be able to make it? Jaden was taking a look. This is an awful camera angle, and that's Kane gone round. He loses his front wing on Luke GDI's car. What a disaster. It's gone horrifically wrong. Ay. 5 wide almost. Unfortunately, the camera angle was horrific because apparently looking at the onboard camera on fucking, what is it called? Broadcast camera? Yeah, that's really what I wanted. So you didn't see exactly what happened there. Thank you, F1 game. Thank you for giving us rubbish camera angles. When I want to see off-board action, I want off-board action, not an on-board camera. Ugh. How hard is it to not put these stupid on-board cameras into... Oh, God. It's stupid. Just leave them. So now, Leonard is more under threat from Jaden than Kane, who is having to pit for a brand new front wing. He will at least be able to fight. Oh, we've had a spin from Ryan Kennedy, I think. So that's gone wrong for the Aston Martin. Whereas Kane, yes, Kane coming out just behind Faker, I imagine. Oh, it's neck and neck. And Ryan Kennedy has retired. Okay, he's done that inside the pit lane. But slightly newer tyres for Kane means that he may still be able to salvage some points from this situation. But at the minute, the podium is still... Any step of the podium is up for grabs. Jaden not looking like he has the pace, but he's going to fight as hard as he can to try and get past Leonard, who still has a lot of battery to play with. And he will be able to easily defend from Jaden if Jaden relies entirely on the DRS. He used a little bit of his energy. But Jaden, 210, oh, he is gonna make the move, I think. No, he's actually holding off on it. He's actually pushed Luke GDI onto the grass there, and that's put Luke at threat from Ivan Hafterkamp, who... Oh, there's Ryan Kennedy, because the game decides that... game being stupid. Luke GDI still within a second of Jaden, so he will get the DRS to defend. Let's take a brief look at tyre ages. Everyone in the top 5 on 12-lap-old medium tyres. Kane on a fresh softs, and that shows as he sails past Faco, but he's done it wrong. He picks up a 3-second penalty because he almost certainly messed up the first chicane, and now he's got to try and get past Faco and build a gap, and that's not going to be easy. Jaden, to his credit... Oh, we've got a yellow flag. That's Kane again! And Kane has messed up the second chicane. Don't think he's picked up any damage, but he's been fighting too hard, and he's almost certainly frustrated. So Jaden, still the closest driver to Leonard, but he's only using the DRS. He doesn't have the energy to play with. He doesn't have the speed to get past Leonard. He's able to stay within the 1 second margin, but it's just not enough. Ivan also very close behind Luke. Gonna be desperate to get onto that podium, which Luke currently holds on to. Is Ivan gonna make a dive bomb? I don't think so. In fact, Luke has fallen. Oh no! What has happened to Ivan? He's lost it on the exit of turn 4 and 5. I think his tyres were crying for mercy, and he's just lost it. This is gonna be a horrific race for the Red Bull duo. Ivan will at least retake the lead of the championship, but Leonard looks like he's on course to win another race. I think his second race of the season. And now he is at threat from only Jaden and Luke GDI. And this staunch defense is leaving all his rivals to make mistake after mistake. Jaden doesn't have the energy to play with. He's running out. Luke sees that his target, his rival ahead of him, is blinking the red lights of death. And Luke doesn't seem to have a great amount of traction. But Luke will certainly be smelling the blood in the water. He knows that Jaden is running low on energy. Jaden probably having to use a lot more energy, possibly due to a faulty setup. He's using up a lot of it. But Luke has saved up a bit of it, and I think he's going to try and get past Jaden within the next couple of laps to try and at least secure P2. But at the minute, it's looking like it's going to be victory for Leonard once again. Jaden has caught up a little bit, but it's not going to be enough on this occasion. He's still falling behind. He just doesn't have the energy to make an attack. But as a reserve, I think he is a reserve driver. I don't remember. But he's just not going to be able... Oh, that's Luke going wide. He's going to have the DRS. He's used up a lot of his energy down the straight. And he's thrown all that progress away. And now, it sort of returns to the status quo. And Ivan has used up all of his energy trying to catch up. Ben Dixon is reeling the Red Bull in. Kane possibly catching up to Faker a little bit. But his tyres will not be as fresh as they once were. And of course he has a 3-second... Is it a 3-second penalty? I think so. Yes. Only driver with penalties on the field. And in fact, he has lost a lot of his energy as well. Faker still has a little bit to play with. So it's not gone particularly well for either of the Red Bulls. And though Faker has had a pretty horrific day today, it's better than nothing. He can be confident that his team is catching up. Dan Edwin, oh, and that's Luke GDI! Luke GDI has had not as bad of a crash as Pookie and Affery, but he loses his front wing, and that's gonna promote Formula Cringe onto the podium in what I think is only his second race back in the series. And he sails past Luke. It's double disaster for McLaren, and that's also going to be able to promote Ivan up into 4th place. That's a couple more points towards his championship position challenge, but he is now under threat from Ben Dixon. He doesn't have this pace. His tyres are 16 laps old, and they're mediums. Though I imagine that the 13-lap-old softs on Ben Dixon are not feeling quite so happy either. Still, Ben Dixon could get past Ivan for P4 here, which would be an amazing result. And he's got plenty of battery. Ivan, though, has stored up a bit of it to try and defend. Oh, that's not quite what you want to do. Both the Red Bulls looking a bit squirrely on the rear end. Jaden, meanwhile... Oh, he was closer. He does smell potential victory, but he just doesn't have the energy to play with. He's got the slipstream. He will have the DRS, but he just doesn't have the energy, and that's going to be enough for Leonard, who's just not really having to use much of it at all. And Jaden, I think he's going to have to settle for second place here. We've had another car going off. That's Dion. He's spun at Lesmo 1. He's still all inside of the points. And Leonard could just basically cruise to victory, because even though Jaden is right behind, he's not really under threat. He's got all the energy to play with in the world. He can sit pretty here. Sure, he probably feels a bit of pressure, but Jaden just hasn't been able to mount a real attack on him. Ivan, meanwhile, under threat still. And that's Ben Dixon trying to go up the inside. And he's got the... No, he doesn't have the tyres, and he wisely backs off. He doesn't want to have a repeat of, well, the previous event. The sprint race. Holds off for now. And I would have thought that 14-lap-old soft tyres would be feeling quite bad, but they still must be feeling rather grippy compared to 17-lap-old mediums. Ivan trying to break the toe. Faker gets a 3-second time penalty. And that could actually be quite good for Kane, because he also has a 3-second time penalty, and he's got within a second of Faker. And he could get P7 here. His tyres are just a few laps old. Oh, no, it's not gone right for Kane. His tyres not holding on. And it seems that Tascari is catching out a few people today. And in fact, Kane could be under threat from Luke in, well, probably not soon enough for Luke, though Then again, Luke is on fresh tyres and he is catching up a bit. And I reckon Kane could actually lose P8 to Luke here because he does have that penalty and Luke has just crossed the 3-second threshold. Oh, it's gone really wrong for Kane today as well. He was in such good standing, he could have got on the podium, but he just fought a little bit too hard. As Alex Albon said, they raced me so hard. He's raced too hard himself. Ben Dixon. Oh, it's going wrong for Ben Dixon just as we switch to him. He loses a bit of time. That could be crucial. He's having to use his energy to try and catch back up to Ivan. They both have identical energy reserves. Will Ben Dixon be able to make the move? He doesn't really have any other opportunities. He's got to make the move into turn 1, but he's used up all of his energy. And I don't think he'll be able to do it. Well, maybe he will be. No, he's too far back. Ivan will be able to defend for now, but that's Dan Edwin right behind as well, though he does have a penalty. And Kane is not going to be able to hold on to P8 here. He's not got the speed to get past Faco. But up at the top of the field, Lennart reigns supreme. He has been able to cruise to victory. He's used up much of his energy now. Don't know what I was trying to say there. I was about to say probably to set the fastest lap, and then I decided not to say it, but sort of half said it anyway. So he's used up his energy to try and maybe did feel a bit under threat from Jaden, but realistically, Jaden was not a threat. Lennart comes around the final corner to win his second race of the season. Though I think Jaden could have smelled a bit of blood in the water there. And congratulations to Formula Cringe for going from effectively last to P3. And Ivan Hafterkamp holds off Ben Dixon to take P4 on the road. He does lose a bit of ground to Lennart, but he does take the championship lead once again. And Faco and Kane. Oh, and that's Luke. Luke gets at both of them. So Kane does lose P8, but Faco also loses P7. So Luke does get P7 as a commiseration. That's 6 points. And Hangis, after Dion's mistake, 22nd. What? Dion gets a 20-second penalty. It doesn't really matter anyway. And now Luke GDM. Oh no, we've got stupid yellow flag shenanigans. Ignoring yellow flags. Excuse me? It's the end of the race. So Luke is P7. Ignore what the game's decided. But Hangis will get his first point of the season. He finishes P10 after a race of attrition here. And Ben Dixon gets driver of the day for starting in a lowly position and still managing to finish 5th. So not bad for Ben Dixon. Excellent race for Jaden, who I don't think he expected a podium here today. And also Formula Cringe, who gets a podium. I think, is it his first podium since Tier 2? I don't remember. It's been a while. So there we go. Lennart wins from Jaden, from Formula Cringe, from Ivan Hafterkamp, from Ben Dixon, from Dan Edwin, from Luke GDI. Ignore the game's stupid penalties for ignoring yellow flags after the race had finished. Stupid game. Bad game. Faco 8th, Kane 9th, and Hangis P10. Dion can only finish P11. Not finishing the race, Ryan Kennedy, Rob, Crazy Steve, Afari, and Pookie after some rather horrific crashes. So yeah, there we go. There we go. That race practically flew by. Hard to believe it's been going for almost certainly 40 minutes. Series 5. Let me just take a look at what Series 5 has to offer. Circuit Breaker. Ooh. Cool. Si, ragazzi.
Yes! Si, ragazzi!
You didn't do it quite right. Ballet. Trying to be McLaren. DJ Mario. Oh, God. Is this another YouTuber livery? Like, I understood. Tiamat Marduk? Oh, that makes sense. Because he's an F1 YouTuber. Maxi. Because last time we had Arava, Pieface, and Terrorizer. Pieface and Terrorizer are completely. They just don't make F1 content. Yeah, look, there's a Tiamat Marduk. Ooh, that's quite nice. Marduk Motorsport. Then Maxi MXM. Let me guess, they don't make F1 content. And then DJ Mario. Let me guess, doesn't make F1 content. I'd be surprised if they did. I might actually start playing the game again. To get some of these. To get this at least. To get the Tiamat Marduk stuff. Because I like Ben. Decent bloke.
Woo! Oh, thank you guys. Couldn't have done it without you. Thank you.
Yeah, my sentiments exactly. Right, well, let's. There we go. Take things. Image. Bring that back up. Oh, what? You've got 31 points apparently. I don't know. I don't remember. I have a terrible memory. I don't exactly take remember the championship standings off by heart. Hanges, where are you? 31 points. Thing is, you're not on the driver's standings, so even if you do have points, I think you're only a reserve driver, aren't you? So you don't show up. It's oh dear. Let's look at the race attendance actually. Yeah. Hanges reserve. So reserve drivers don't get points. But at least you've been keeping tally, so there's that. Mm. Right. Well, we'll see you next week, everyone, for which race? We had Italy. It's going to be Portugal next week, the 6th of April. Watch out for turn 8 there. It's a nasty one. Or is it turn 7? I think it's turn 8, yeah. Nasty one that sends drivers spinning around quite a lot. But yes, thank you for watching, everyone. And until next week, I'll catch you next time. Thank you, and goodbye.